All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about a business structure that is incredibly powerful, but, a lot of people just don't really understand it. It's the holding corporation. And we're going to break down exactly how you can use this tool to grow your business way, way more effectively.
Okay, so picture this. Your business is killing it. It's profitable, you've got extra cash sitting on the balance sheet. Fantastic problem to have, right? But it does lead to a really big question. What do you actually do with that money?
And right there, that's the classic problem every single successful entrepreneur faces. If you just pay that money out to yourself as a dividend, boom, the tax man takes a huge bite for personal taxes. So if your plan was to use that cash to start, say, another business, you're now starting with a much smaller pile of money. This thing is what we call tax drag, and man, it can really slow you down.
So you might be thinking, there's got to be a better way, right? A smarter structure? Well, there is. And that's exactly what the holding company solution is all about.
So what on earth is a holding corporation? It sounds complicated, but I promise it's actually pretty simple. Think of it this way. It's a company whose main job isn't to make widgets or sell services. Its main job is just to own other companies, specifically your main business that's actually making all the money. We call that one the operating company.
Okay, let's look at this side by side. On the left, we've got structure A. That's direct ownership. That's you owning your operating company. Simple. It's how most people start out. But on the right, in structure B, we've done something different. We've inserted a new company, the holding company, right in between you and your business. Now, it looks like a tiny little change, right? But trust me, that one extra box, that's where all the magic happens.
So, what's the big deal? What's the secret sauce here? Well, it all comes down to its core superpower, a massive tax-free advantage. Let's dig into why this is the #1 reason so many entrepreneurs go down this path.
All right, first, let's look at the old way, structure A, what I like to call the painful path. Your business does well, it pays you a dividend. Immediately, you get slammed with personal income taxes. And whatever's left over, that much smaller after-tax amount, that's all you have to work with for your next big idea. It's just not a very efficient way to move your money. Okay, but now, check this out. This is the game changer. With Structure B, your operating company pays out the exact same dividend, but instead of going to you personally, it goes up to your holding company. And here it is, the key move. That transfer is completely tax-free. 100% of that dividend lands in your holding company's bank account, ready for you to reinvest. You've totally dodged that immediate tax hit and kept your full war chest intact.
Now, of course, you can't just do this willy-nilly. There are a couple of key rules you gotta follow to make this work. Generally, this tax-free magic happens as long as the dividends are coming from the business income of your operating company and your holding company owns a decent chunk of it. Usually that means more than 10% of the shares.
So, deferring tax? That's huge, absolutely massive. But believe it or not, that's just the tip of the iceberg. A holding company is really like a strategic Swiss Army knife for an entrepreneur. It gives you some incredible options down the road.
For starters, think about shareholder flexibility. Let's say you have a partner, maybe you want to take all the profits and plow them into a new venture, but your partner needs to take some cash out to, say, buy a house. With this structure, everybody wins. Your company pays a dividend to each of your personal holding companies. Your partner can take the money out of theirs and pay the tax, while you keep yours in your holding company, tax-deferred, ready to invest. It's perfect. Plus, it keeps the main operating business lean and clean, which makes it way more attractive if you ever want to sell it.
Okay, what about growth? A holding company is an incredible tool for buying other businesses. It becomes a perfect vehicle for making acquisitions, especially if you're going to be using debt to finance the purchase. It just makes the whole transaction so much cleaner and more efficient.
All right, but what about the exit, the big payday when you decide to sell? This is where a holding company is just brilliant. Right before you sell, you can have your operating company pay a huge dividend up to your holding company. Again, tax-free. This pulls a ton of cash out of the business you're about to sell, which makes its sale price lower. And a lower sale price means a lower capital gain, which means you pay a lot less tax on the sale. At the end of the day, you walk away with way more cash in your pocket to fund whatever you want to do next. So let's just pull back for a second. What's the big idea behind all of this? It really boils down to one simple concept. This is a change in form, not a change in substance.
See, the way the tax code looks at this is pretty smart. There's this guiding principle that says a reorganization like this is just a change in form, not in substance. You haven't actually taken the money and run, right? You've just moved it from one of your pockets to another. You still own the whole shebang, you just own it through a different legal box.
And this brings us to maybe the most important thing to get straight in your head. We're talking about tax deferral, not tax avoidance. It's a huge difference. You're not getting out of paying taxes forever. That tax bill is just waiting for you. It only comes due on the day you finally pull that money out of your holding company and put it into your personal bank account. The power is that you decide when that day comes.
So let's wrap this all up. When you set up a holding company, you're doing so much more than just pushing a tax bill down the road. You're building a powerful, flexible engine for growth. You get the ability to reinvest 100% of your profits, you can acquire other businesses more easily, and you can plan for a much more profitable exit down the line. Which really leaves you with one big question to ask yourself. Is your business structure just for today, or is it built for the empire you're trying to create tomorrow?